Unless you're hiding.
No, I just
How's mom's, is your mom settled in?
yeah, she stopped by the shop today. I was going,
Aw,
I was at Meyer quickly, briefly, and all of a sudden, who's this little lady in my green suit or employee they're talking about? Shit, my mom. And then she comes to work. So she's making working her way further down. She still doesn't drive up 33 that way yet, but she's got her routes.
She does, huh? But once you live up here, you get all your back routes where you try and avoid the traffic and the stoplights.
Well, now they're doing the same construction underground on Paradise in Maine as they're doing on Decorah in Maine.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's,
a night, you know, let's have one lane of road get through town. I drive twice a day.
right.
That's kind of how we're used to. It's Wisconsin in the sun.
Well, if they're not working on Paradise, Decorah in Maine, move the cones over. They're working on Paradise in Maine.
Finish one before you start another.
No, this way it makes you look like you've got so much work
No,
to
they're,
do.
I don't know what they're doing.
Put those cones in.
Underground.
Did you see it?
We're on time.
Underneath
No, it's a route.
Is that
Oh,
You listen to the German gas.
Okay. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the West Bend Community Memorial Library Board for Tuesday, June 18th. May we stand to say the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Okie dokie. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda, which is the library board meeting minutes from May 21st and the library expenditures from May of 2024.
Motion to approve.
Correct. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Second. Any questions? If not, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Financial reports.
Yes, so there was only one donation this month, which was from Lucy Larson, and it was going for an outreach garden memorial. And then there were some checks for programs. There was a payment to the city. I wasn't sure what that was for, Steve. I don't know if you know. There was a check of $552.
The reimbursement for program expense to the city of
Yeah.
West Bend.
Yeah, sometimes we have to use a different credit card. So that was what that probably was for
Okay.
program expenses. And I'm not exactly sure I remember what exactly it's for, but sometimes finance says you need to use this credit card, and then we reimburse it.
And then, yeah, there were just the other ones too.
Quite a bit of garden supplies.
Yep.
Okay. Any question? Oh, my question, where are the restricted patron park fund balances sitting? Are they just sitting in the account that we get interest from the city?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, well, there's 19,000 on this page. And then, yeah, there was like 1,000 something.
No, I was just wondering, because if it's in that big bulk that they have, then, we get
Yeah, the
interested in that,
1,000,
and then
whatever
it's
that is
distributed.
just part of their bulk
Okay.
thing. But then we do have 19,000 in a separate account at BMO.
Oh, that
For
is a
patrons,
separate
correct.
BMO
Yeah.
account, okay. Okay. And how do we get that out there? Check?
There's a checkbook.
Checkbook for that?
Yeah.
Okay, I just forgot about that. It's been a while since we've done stuff.
Yeah, we haven't really used it much, so.
Right.
Well, let's talk about.
All right.
I guess I can put it on your radar since it came up, but the tiling, which needs to be done so that we can use that space, would probably be coming out of there soon. So that-
What Do we have an estimate on the tile?
Not yet, working on it. It's really hard to get estimates back from contractors right
The summer.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll probably wait till January to put it out for a bid, maybe get a better bid, or December, if we need to put that out for a bid.
now. We don't need to, but we'll probably get a couple estimates anyway. Go with that.
Okay. If there are no further questions on the finances, we can move on to the library board director's report.
I'm not going to add much to the reports that I sent out for staff. Right now, Amber and I are doing QPR training, facilitator training, so we're getting trained to do this suicide prevention training for the communities. And that takes up a little bit of time. Beyond that, we've been working on, I've been working with people to try to get estimates for our grant as far as the reconfigurations in the library and all the things that we want to get done with the library to get it up to date.
So have we submitted the grant yet?
No, I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's July 11th was the
Okay.
submittal date. And yeah, we still need to get, part of that is, well, hopefully part of our grant is expanding our Wi-Fi. That estimate should come in next week, and we're working with a local vendor on everything else, and they had promised me something yesterday, but didn't show up, so maybe next week we'll have a lot more information, and I can share that with the group if we get that through email. But it's a good guide and good, it's helping us prioritize what we need to do if we don't get a grant too, so it's helpful. I did have Lee Mechanical walk through. We were really concerned about the air conditioning last week, and they did find the last thing that they found that was wrong with it was the micro switch that was acting up, so it was disconnected and bypassed. And some things are working with the air conditioning now, which is great.
Especially today.
Yeah.
And last week.
And the vendor that I had walked through at the end of last week said that they believe that even though Mammoth, the company that made our big air handler, is out of business, they believe they might be able to get parts to update that with new coolant if that needs to be done. And they're going to give me some budget numbers for that. So I haven't told anybody in the city yet that that's possible, but it probably would be more of a case of not spending $1 million on an air conditioning unit, but paying for smaller repairs throughout the duration of my time here, which hopefully will be until I
You
resign.
think that the repairs like that will last a long, long time? Did they give you a life estimate on the air conditioning?
They're going to give me a walkthrough of everything that would need to be updated and budgeting plan for that. So it's the Mammoth unit isn't like, it's the size of a Mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
And just to move something like that onto the roof at this point would be very expensive. So
We don't even know if the roof could handle that weight, could it?
it could, I'm sure.
Yeah, it does not.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to, yeah, they'd take that one
Yeah, they
off
go
and then
off,
put them. So we
When
wouldn't
it-
double the weight.
When I walked through with the architects, they said you could probably add another
Unit?
floor on, actually. So we could
Oh, so it's sturdy enough to have another floor?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like, that's
to know.
great to know. I don't know if I probably-
Long-term strategy. 10-year plan.
Probably won't be doing that. I just got a new roof, so it won't be.
It's part of the day, you know, you live up there then. I know, the special room for the
Rent it out.
Exactly right.
It's a purpose
City's always looking for revenues. We could probably split into 4 units and
There we go.
4 luxury condos.
I mean, cleaning at the basement.
Okay.
All those comments. Yes.
It's recorded.
Yeah, it's recorded.
Steve, keep going.
Alternate room, help us filter.
So we'll call it at that.
It was interesting looking at the statistics that you had included in here. I kind of enjoyed, not enjoyed, but I think found them informative. I did enjoy them. And we seem to be doing one heck of a good job. We really do.
Yeah, we're doing, we're still far ahead, I mean, we're still far ahead of any other library as far as the work goes, of circulation, so it's very impressive.
I don't know where I saw it. I've been looking in your little report there, the staff report, so I'm sorry if I can't find it. It was something about one of the staff members contacting the principals and
Yes.
revamping the teacher forms and stuff like that.
That was the,
I
the
can't,
circulation gal.
was it circulation?
Julia?
Julia.
Okay.
I think-
Oh yeah, here it is. I updated the school agreement, teacher forms, and contacted all the school principals in West Bend. And then she's gonna follow up with the schools.
Yep.
Do you know what the new agreement says, by chance?
I don't off the top of my
Okay.
head.
I thought you still working on it.
Okay. Brad knows.
Okay,
I saw an email somewhere, so pretty close.
okay, all right. Maybe it's like a school card that teachers can use per building?
I don't know.
She may overhaul it, I don't know.
Maybe she can put that in her, yeah.
It's utilizing our teacher card resource. That's what it is, so we don't, okay. Teacher card resource.
Yep.
It's a task.
Sounds like a task for next time.
Right? So maybe she can just put it in the report
Because it
for
sounded
next.
like we ended up with school stuff in our library that we weren't supposed to have, and she's trying to get that back to them too. So I don't know how we ended up with school stuff here too.
Well, they might return stuff,
Yeah.
you know, because we get that too.
That's what I think it was. They were, they might have gotten books that were the school's books. That's what I think.
Maybe
she
that's
was
the
talking
agreement.
about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
to get it back to them.
Isn't that interesting?
I have not seen this agreement. I probably
Okay.
should see this if it's an agreement between us and the schools.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's something that's in the works, like Brad said.
If you need any help, just let me know,
Sounds good. Thank you.
because Tim's probably busy. Right?
Yeah, he looks
I know.
stressed there.
It'll cross my desk at some point.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we'll put that on maybe for next month as a item just to update.
Thank you.
Update on.
Just curious.
Update on info. Good. Well, at least you know your board is reading the
Yeah,
documents.
good job.
Right.
Any other questions for Steve or anything? If not, we'll get a little more decorum back to our library director's report. Basically, I guess I wanted to just bring up the email that Steve had sent out regarding the per capita funding for libraries. And I think that was really interesting because of the fact that, you know, we as a library are very up high in the square footage, the number of books compared to the others. We're like in the top 10 percentile. And it's interesting to look at this. I guess I'd be interesting, and you're talking about the per capita support, we ranked quite low in the support. 23, our per capita was $28.38. So we're up to number 350 in the ranks of 382. So there's 349 libraries that are getting more per capita than us. So our per capita is within the bottom 20% whereas our circulation, and that is in the upper 10%. So I think this was a really good statistic to share with the board.
It's good to be aware. I don't know that we're gonna, I mean, we've made good strides. We're gonna keep doing our best. I'm still happy with the results.
Yeah.
But it's good to know what we're doing with such little money and that we're doing great work, I guess.
I agree. Yeah, amazing work considering.
Right, right.
Yeah. The other thing that kind of tied into this in the statistics report was the number of volunteer hours. We had 229 volunteer hours for the month. That is the equivalent of what, of about 5 people? 5 people, 5+ people, full-time employees. So we really want to thank the volunteers of the library. They really
We did,
have.
that was one of the items for last month that I reported to the council was the number of equivalent employee to volunteers. So that was reported last month to council. So.
It's good. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, because one of the things to maybe think about from the city standpoint is they do recognize volunteers that do things for like the parks and other things. We maybe should think about that for some of our volunteers.
Do the volunteers get to go to the German night from here? Like we do, we get, as volunteering for this, we get to go to German night.
Don't know if it's going to happen this year. I haven't seen.
Yeah,
it.
I haven't seen any
So
emails or anything
I
like
don't
that.
know. That was,
Isn't German Night coming up real soon?
it's like
It's in
July
July.
16th, yeah.
Mhm.
So normally there is a
I'm supposed to have
invitation. No, it may be something that is just,
No, I'm not asking you, but I'm scheduled to play, so I'm assuming it's going on.
well, it's going on, but that doesn't mean that the city volunteers or the city
Oh.
representatives will be invited like they have.
Yeah.
See, it isn't.
Another task.
Was,
No, usually they.
We didn't even ask.
Usually I get an email
Right?
or something.
I'm
We usually get an email when we have
It's
it.
going to come out.
We have not.
Brett, what was the response? Did you get a response, even like a facial response about that statistic?
Well, yeah, because again, it's part of my presentation.
No.
You're talking about last meeting.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, and
Did any of the other county
No.
councils refer or make any reference to it?
No.
Or, like she
no,
said,
they
make a
just
facial?
listened to my report
Okay.
and, you know, no one reached out to me afterwards and,
Kind of like,
yeah. So,
We heard-
you know what?
But the
Here's
way
to
they-
hear, you
At
know,
least they heard
what
it.
we hear, you
At least
know,
they heard it.
and, you know, it may come up and, you know, that, oh, where did I hear that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
hello, you know, so,
it gets so tough because
you know.
we make miracles out of nothing.
And the numbers,
And then-
the numbers show it, you know?
Right.
Look,
But then it's like, is the attitude still, because I know it was in the past, well, you've done it with these limited resources, so why can't you continue to do it? Or is it more like, oh, we should really look into maybe helping?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
with a 20% increase in our budget, we'd still be underfunded by quite a bit.
correct,
So we're
right?
still going to need those resources,
Absolutely.
those volunteers. Even if by some miracle, they come up with
Yeah.
that large of an increase and,
Well, but like you said, these things are important for them to hear because they may not, you know, slap you on the back when you say it or whatever and all that. But, you know, when Steve comes to, you know, the staff and says, we need this, we need that, you know, and the library's competing with every other city department, you know, they're hearing the fact that we're doing good things with less, so maybe, you know, we can help you out. You know, you've had that happen in the past, where, you know, I was like, wow, you know, we don't, but, you know, let's see what we can find,
yeah.
you know? Or let's see where we can fit you,
Yeah,
you know? So, again, you know, the fact that we get it out, that's the important thing, because
Yeah.
they're hearing. And then when we go to make the requests, then it's clicking,
yeah,
rather than, oh yeah, okay. They say
Yeah.
the same thing every year, you know? And,
yeah,
you know, so at least if we keep saying it, we keep giving it to them, and then the request comes through, tie it together, and it may be beneficial.
And if somebody watches it, it's on community television.
Exactly.
So,
Do you also go back and say with the amount that you've increased, this is all the extra things we've been able to do, so if we keep giving us more, we'll show that we're doing more with it?
That's an interesting concept.
But we are doing
We
more,
have-
we
we
are
are.
growing, so I think we have the
Absolutely.
numbers, and that's something else we could probably bring back to the city too. We're not
We've been
just taking
discussing
the
how we're going to tell our story more regularly anyway, so I think that might be part of our social media campaign in the near future, that we have monthly. This is what we did last month. The numbers, I think, I gotta rephrase what I was gonna say, I was gonna pick a city council number. The numbers are so big, it's hard to comprehend, really.
It is.
What a million circulations are, what 170,000 people through our doors.
Yeah.
is.
That's the thing, the amount of people in a month that come through these doors, I mean, we're over 14,000 a month. I mean, City Hall would be swamped.
We're only open
Even
6 days a week.
Even on the
Right.
taxpayers, when you're paying your taxes, you don't get that.
Yeah.
So it's good, and we're talking it up because we are very happy with what is going
And when we
on.
make the connections with the city that they say, oh, you're that busy, then maybe they say, oh, maybe we can afford a notary there if you're gonna get that many people.
Right,
or whatever the
right.
case might be.
Has that,
Or replacing computers and all that, those are things, again, you know, it may seem like it's just a blurb in a report, you know, that someone's just reading, you know,
Yeah.
but again, it's out there, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Bear in mind too that costs are rising as well, so that's gotta be factored in.
Yeah.
I mean, the electricity alone over the next 2 years is guaranteed to go up based on what I saw. What they want to
they
do.
want.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's the other side of the story. I like to be the optimist.
Yeah. Well, do you
That's
feel,
right.
Steve, do you feel, because you have such a large presence at these meetings and you connect with all these people in the community, do you think that we, since you've been hired, are changing the attitudes and the vision of the library? Like, because people think, oh, the books, everything's online now, we don't really need we've talked about that all the time. So do you think we're making headway with that?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I'm sure we have. I have not heard anything about we don't need books anymore since
Okay.
I've been here. I
Okay.
haven't heard that from anybody, and I have heard that other libraries. People are saying you're doing great things at the library, people who've never been here. People who from other communities are watching what we're doing. We're a winning library, we keep winning, so I'm gonna keep
Okay.
quietly winning.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
hopefully continuing to make good strides in the right direction, and little by little we'll get there, and maybe before I retire, we'll be at the middle of the pack as far as per capita funding.
There you go.
And that'll be a success in my eyes.
And to the idea of circulation, I know I've mentioned this before, if you can look at the statistics, we still overwhelmingly have print material going out way over anything electronically.
Absolutely.
And that number has not changed much. In the beginning it did, it is kind of plateauing out. It goes up and down a little bit, but we're not seeing, it being overtaken.
Yep.
Not even close.
Good.
And
Okay.
I think that we're gonna have some big things happen in the near future that are just gonna be even bigger splashes for us, so I'm excited about what's going on.
Mhm.
Well,
That was a good conversation.
that's all for the library board president. We will move on, and you've got to quit the caffeine. Too much in the day.
What happens when you can actually have a good night's rest? I don't have to worry about middle school kids. We're good.
Okay, moving on. The agenda items for consideration. Item A, fund balances. Steve said he figured this out, so we're gonna just let him give us an update. on the fund
Yeah,
balances.
so I did have some questions about the fund balances, but as I reviewed everything, it seems like it all makes sense to me. The most important thing is the 2023 fund balance. undesignated fund balance. I know in the past, there's been, we moved some of that money to restricted. The reason we don't want to do that is because we already did hire some people to do some work for us, and we need to be able to pay them, and we don't really want to have another motion to pull it out of restricted to pay the people that we already approved payment for. So that would be like the masonry work, some blinds that were done, and we have another set of blinds that are coming in yet this year. And then there was one other, well, the camera system was the other big one that we did this year that we didn't have in the budget, we just used undesignated funds for.
Is that up and running now, the camera?
It is.
Working
It's
marvelous.
So fun.
Good.
So much fun to play with this camera system.
This is why Steve doesn't know how many people. Just playing with the camera.
Playing with the camera system. It's a really, I think it's a really wonderful tool for us. We can, if we do ban somebody from the library, we can use their photo to notify us if they do come into the library now. And we'll get an email, Brian or I will get an email that they're here. We can verify that it's them or not them, and
Wow.
And every camera that they pass, we get another email. So if you walk throughout the building, you get, we did the one experiment, and we had 30 emails for the one person, because every time they crossed any of the camera points, but some of the cameras are 4 cameras, so they walk in a circle, we're gonna get 4.
Sure.
Are these strictly
Yeah.
inside the building or there's some outside?
they're all inside the building, yeah. We may look at other areas to add some additional cameras.
We do have one outside technically.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, we do, we
I
have
thought
the
there was one out there. in
the
back.
book drop,
Yeah.
and do we have anything else? Is there one in the corner? There's one in the corner.
No, that one's not, no, that's still the outside one looking west.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess if I
So
had my phone,
you are happy with our expenditure for the camera?
I think the cameras are great.
It's actually worked for us already in several instances.
Really?
Yeah. Very, very helpful.
Yeah, we did have a
You only
incident.
kicked me out once.
You're not on the watch list
The
yet.
buzzer goes off when you want it.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah.
So basically, we're set, looking at this then, what it says is, outreach had a undesignated balance of 40,000. Outreach, now, we rented a van from someone else, right? Is that taken care of? Because remember, we talked about the van two months ago.
We got a smaller vehicle still from Lynch,
Did mention that.
and so actually the lease rate went down with the trade-in of the old vehicle. I don't know how it works out. Magically, it went down, but the cost went down. It's a more comfortable vehicle to drive, so if we need to take a trip somewhere with the crew, we can pack into the Acadia and go for a ride to another library or conference or whatever. And then we'd still use for outreach.
Okay. The outreach, the money that's still, that the carryover, is Nancy still kind of overseeing? I know I read in her thing, she's got a couple of people working on. Are they working on a plan for further to utilize this money for materials? Our population out there is getting older, and there's probably a great need for a lot more materials, large print and stuff like that, so.
She was working on a plan for that. It's a long process because we need to look at where our needs are. We still get a lot of large print materials. Things that are older, that we had a collection of kits that need to be revamped or replaced.
For seniors, we
For
have
seniors
kids.
and senior activities and
Nice.
that kind of thing.
Are those being utilized?
A little bit,
I
yeah.
think it was in those stats.
I saw the stats,
Yeah.
but I didn't know those were adult or senior kits and stuff.
Yeah, there's senior kits, and there's youth kits as well, but I think there's a senior.
It's just youth
kits
kids
line.
there.
Youth
So it's
kids?
just all oriented, all kids. It's both youth kids, so it's not really personal.
So as we identify the need areas and we can get new materials, we'll use some of that money for that. I would also say, with the amount of miles we put on the vehicle, at the end of this lease, it might be worthwhile considering buying it out, but then we need to have an agreement in place with the county for that their portion of that buy to do that. So that's not, as the county contract's written right now, it's a portion of the lease cost, so.
All right, sounds good to me. Anybody else have any questions on the fund balances? The only other thing, we did have a task on that was Brett, just to find out about the audit. And the question from last month was just, how come it's two months later than normal, basically?
Yeah, and that I didn't get an answer on. So what I got is the fact that they presented last night at the council meeting the annual audit. So we got the information. I mean, they walked up, the book is that thick, and it's like, you can get it online. They showed us the first 5 pages, or the first 5 slides, which are all the neat little graphs that show, you know, these are things that you should be looking at, or these are things that you are, you know, your ranking, your statistics and things like that. So they recommend, or they said that the city is doing fantastic as far as financial reporting and doing everything the right way. So, I mean, that's
So
good.
basically,
That's good that our,
the city got the audit report just
Correct.
as late as we did.
Correct.
And nobody on the city questioned it. I'm
No,
surprised.
nobody.
Nobody questioned it. So we're sitting
No.
here, this little library board, thinking, how come things
well,
aren't
because,
going?
you know, again, the library board is a little different animal, you know? And we're a little more specific and a little more cerebral. Cerebral. Write that word down, okay? Cerebral, okay? Yeah. So again, the fact that they review all the financial transactions and everything, so, you know, when Joseph gives his financial report and Steve reports on fund balance and all that stuff, that's all been looked at by a team of accountants and all kinds of people that then generate a report, determine risks, you know, where some issues, you know, if you're going too much in debt or spending too much money, or, you know, don't have the recommended amount of money in surplus, you know, all these things are stuff that they look at as far as determining the financial health of the city. So we got all
The
A's.
city's healthy.
Got all A's. Got all A's. There was nothing to report. In fact, right there's the audit status. Okay, a lot of white on that page, you know, see that?
They forgot
It's
about
like, there are no significant changes made, and so it's like,
Well,
so it's,
and this is good because this is their bond rating, so that they
Correct.
get a better return.
So we're back up to an AAA, right? Because I know at one point we were in question, and I think it probably
it's
has gone back.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but then, you know, again, we got other things that are coming due, you know. There's fire department and lead laterals, and we're looking at funding, and of course, streets, you know. We're always looking at trying to get more money to fix more streets, you know, so, you know, those are all things that we look at when you discuss finances and how we're gonna be able to do it, because, you know, everyone wants to know, when are you gonna fix my street? You know, it's like, well, you know, if we got the money, we'll do it. So we got a plan. There's a 5-year plan for street repair. There's the CIP plan for capital improvements in buildings and departments and new trucks and all that good stuff. So there's a plan, you know. So just, I guess, rest assured that outside auditors are looking at our stuff too, and they're approving what we're doing. So that's a plus.
Yeah.
So if they can rest assured, you know what, makes me sleep a little better at night. So, all right.
And we've got the status of the funding on the libraries. You provided that was the report we talked about. The business office manager, I saw that the checks and that were split out on here already, so that was good. And their last one was a write-up on the new staffing positions, but those really aren't due until 2025, so.
Yeah, that's gonna be, I'm gonna put that off for a little bit.
Okay.
And, if we do get additional staffing, it's not gonna be that many people all at once probably, so we'll get you the cost.
And again, it goes into next year's budget, so it isn't something that has to be done right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get a cost.
Just stay on top of it, because like you said, and we're competing with everybody else, and everybody else is thinking ahead too. So,
Especially if they're asking us to do notarizing.
Well,
We should be-
they're asking us to take that back.
Yeah, right.
But that doesn't mean, have they done any analysis to provide us with that, you know?
I don't believe they have.
Okay, and so then we'll just leave it in the city, you know, they're gonna have to come back. I mean, that was something that was agreed upon and is up for negotiations, we'll just say that. Good. Okay. Our next regular meeting is July 16th. This room, the reason I'm saying that is the publication from the city, the little bulletin that comes out every week, somehow stated that the meeting was going to be in the Common Council. So I put a call in to make sure that that gets corrected. You know, it isn't so much for us, because we kind of know that, but you know, if we'd have somebody from the public who wanted to come, I mean, you never get off chance. Yeah, you know, you're waiting there and thinking, no one's coming. No. So that is it. Do we have an assigned task list of anything for next month?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Look at that finger pointing over there.
The agreement for schools.
The agreement for
Yeah,
schools.
the agreement for schools.
Remember for schools.
You guys.
He's like, they're wild tonight.
Okay. With that, we are adjourned.
All right, this
See you
word on
next
Main
month.
Street is like